Hi everyone, it's nice to have you all in this channel. This is Ruth Maha. In my last video, I taught us principle 2 of the laws of indices, and I also taught the principle 1 of the laws of indices. You can check in the description below, you'll find the link to all of these videos. But for today, we're going to be looking at the very last stage of the laws of indices, the last principles. All right, they are just 2 in 1. So we're going to be going straight to the video. No waste of time. All right, so we have example 1. But before we do that, let's look at the principle. We have this x to the power of minus e. The minus there stands for inverse all over. So this x here is just a single x without a number in front of it, but we know as mathematicians that it is 1 that is close to it. So if there is a 2 there, it will appear there, but if it's 1, we don't necessarily write that. So that's this one here. So 1 all over x to the power of e. So that's just the principle. That's one of it. Then the last one is anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So let's go back to the examples we have and let's crush all of them. So we have the first one, 10 raised to the power of minus 3. And this is following the very first principle. So we have 1 all over 10, which is standing for the x there, raised to the power 3. And what does this mean? It means 1 over, what is 10 raised to the power 3? It means 10 times 10 times 10. And that will give us 1,000. And that's all, basically. So we have question number 2, we have x naught times x4 times x raised to the power minus 2. All right, so we already know from our second principle, x raised to the power 0 is what? 1. Anything raised to the power 0 is 1. So we have this as 1 times x to the power 4. And remember, this is following the very first principle. This is following the very first principle, and that is 1 all over x raised to the power 2. Are we together? So now x raised to the power 2 into x raised to the power 2 is 1, and x raised to the power 2 into this will still give us x raised to the power 2. Are we together? So we have x raised to the power 2 all over 1, and that is still x to the power of 2, and that's all for number 2. So we have number 3, a raised to the power minus 3 divided by a raised to the power minus 5. Are we together? Yeah. So this means, following the first principle, 1 over a raised to the power 3 divided by 1 over a raised to the power minus 5. A raised to the power 5, sorry. A raised to the power 5. And so remember the principle of mathematics. When you're changing division to times, these two numbers here, they interchange. Like the down one goes up and the up comes down. So we have 1 over a raised to the power 3 times a raised to the power 5 over 1. Can you see that? Now if we were to cancel, a raised to the power 3 into a raised to the power 3 is 1. And a raised to the power 3 here we have a raised to the power 2 left. Are we together? So we have this as what? A raised to the power 2 over 1, which is still the same thing as what? A raised to the power 2. And we're looking at the very last one. Like I told you, I'm not here to waste our time. So let's proceed fast. So we have 1 over 4 raised to the power minus 2. This is going to follow the very first law, this one, the first principle. So this is 1 over 1 over 4 raised to the power 2. And that simply means 1 divided by 1 over 4 raised to the power 2. And this one here is over 1. So this is 1 over 1. This division is still here. And this means 1 times 1 is 1. And 4 times 4 is 16. So we have 1 times 16. Remember the law of mathematics over what? 1. And this is 1 times 16, 16. So that's basically the answer. Very simple. All right, that is the end of today's video.